Hi everyone, long time no see. Welcome back to my channel, Melissa's Kitchen. Today I felt like doing something a little bit different, so I think what I'm going to do is a shrimp fried rice with some fried chicken wings on the side. So what I have in front of me are my ingredients. So here I have about 1.5 pounds of chicken wings. I have just a sliver of onion and garlic, finely chopped. I have 6 tablespoons of soy sauce. I have 2 tablespoons of this really special sesame chili oil that I like to use in my fried rice. It's at my local grocery store. I think it's very unique because not only do you get that sesame oil taste, but you also get a little bit of a kick if you like your, fried rice to be a little spicy. And then here I have about 1/2 pound of uncooked shrimp. So what we're going to do to start off is we're going to batter the chicken wings. So in here I have some flour mixed with some salt and pepper. So I'm going to go ahead and throw my wings in. And behind me, I don't know if you can see, but I actually have a pot of cooked rice. Uncooked, I start it with about 2 cups and it cooks up really nicely. I like to make a lot of rice because typically fried rice is something that you can have over and over again and it can feed a lot of people. So I make a really big pot of fried rice, so that's why I start with 2 cups. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to just shake this up. Perfect, ready to go. So we're going to go ahead and fry the chicken wing. So here I have my fried chicken wings, and I actually have a combination of olive oil and the sesame chili oil that I am frying them in. I'll be very honest with you, olive oil is not the best oil to fry in. Peanut oil and avocado oil are much better fried at a higher temperature. I do have this skillet going at a medium temperature though. You can fry at medium to high temperature, but just kind of as a side note, olive oil is not really the best to fry with. But I'm kind of shorthand on ingredients, so we'll just kind of improvise as we go. So I have most of the chicken wings in here already. I think I have one more that I need to put in. Bear with me. Ooh. So what I'll do is, once one of them is at least done, I'll put the final chicken wing in there. I don't like to put too many in at one time because I want them to have enough, I guess, space in the pan to fry and to cook evenly. And if you put too many pieces of chicken in there, you run the risk of not cooking the chicken evenly. The important thing is to frequently turn the chicken and make sure that all portions of the chicken are cooked evenly. And then you will notice juices coming out of the chicken. You want to make sure that the juices that come out of the kitchen are actually clear. So that's an indicator to let you know whether or not your chicken is done. You want to make sure that the juices are completely clear. And here you can see that they're not quite yet, so we're about at the halfway mark. So we're going to keep going, and basically what I'm doing is I'm flipping the chicken back and forth to make sure that it cooks evenly. And it's starting to get a little bit of a nice light golden brown coating around it, which is what I want. But it's probably going to be a little bit more brown once we're done because I can tell the chicken's not done yet. Most people will fry chicken in a deeper oil. Now, I'm kind of working with what I have on hand here, but it can work with a lower level of oil. What you just have to make sure that you do is kind of expose all pieces of the chicken, all parts of the chicken to the oil. So I'm kind of pressing down on this just to make sure no parts are lifted up away from the oil. I want every part of this chicken to be in the oil. And so that ensures that everything gets fried and everything gets cooked. So this is actually turning out pretty good. But I just wanted to let you know that some people do fry in a deeper level of oil, which would probably help it cook a little bit faster, and you wouldn't have to press down so much on the meat. But I am pressing down a little bit because this oil is shallow, but I'm just making sure that every part of the wing is getting cooked in this oil so that you don't have any unevenly fried parts of the chicken. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. Yeah, and I'm just kind of holding it down because these wing parts, they kind of bend up. You can see this part right here that's elevated off of the pan right here. So I'm just kind of pressing it down just to make sure it gets oil exposure. And that's how you can kind of cut corners and fry in a more shallow oil. But everything's turning out okay. The juices look pretty clear to me now. The good thing with chicken wings is that there's not a whole lot of meat on them, so they don't take nearly as long to cook as some larger parts of the chicken. Just flip it over one more time to make sure. Yeah, look at that. That looks pretty good. Okay, flip this one over. Ow! You do have to be careful about the hot oil because it will pop. And I'm being a little careless here. I'm kind of throwing juices all over the place. You got to be careful about that. There we go. Okay. I think we're just about done with our chicken wings. All of the juices are clear, and you can see that the coating has a nice brown texture. So I think we're going to call it quits right here. Okay, so now we're going to start making our actual fried rice. So what I have in my skillet is a little bit of this sesame chili oil, and I'm going to go ahead and start putting some ingredients in. I'm going to put the onion and garlic in. And I have put this skillet now on low heat. You really don't want to put this on a high heat setting because we need to saute. So here's my ½ pound of shrimp. And I'm going to just stir this. And again, I'm using sesame chili oil. So it's going to give the marinade a little bit of flavoring, or, you know, give the ingredients a little bit of flavoring. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to crack 2 eggs. Put a little bit of salt and pepper in these eggs. I'm going to whip them up, and I'm going to add them inside. Give this a little bit of, a little bit of scrambled eggs. I love scrambled eggs in my fried rice. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. This actually cooks up very quickly. So it's all going to be in there together. It doesn't matter if it gets on the rest of your ingredients because the egg will cook, and the yolk and the wetness will evaporate, so it won't really affect the other ingredients. It's just going to be all in there together, and I'm just kind of cutting it up into smaller pieces because most people don't like large chunks of egg in their fried rice. There we go. Just move it around in the skillet, and you can already tell that it's changing its form, so that's perfectly fine. So it's all going to go in together. Chopping up the egg. And this is why it's important to keep it on low heat, because you have so many things that you're trying to cook and you don't want to overheat them. Whenever you're sauteing, and I think I might have mentioned this in another video, the lower the heat setting, the better, because you can control the temperature of your ingredients, and you're not as likely to overcook your ingredients when you put it on a low setting. So it's very, very different from frying. Frying is a much higher heat setting. So shrimp is very easy to cook. Doesn't take long. You just want to make sure the color changes. And you can already see that it's starting to turn pink instead of gray. So the goal is to get it to be completely pink and all that gray color is gone. All right, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time and I'm going to just stir. And the other thing that I wanted to add, and this is completely optional and it's up to the personal preference of the chef. You can put whatever vegetable you want in. So some people love peas, some people love carrots. I have some chopped green beans in here and I already have onion and garlic. So I already got, let's see, some chopped green beans. So we're gonna just saute that all together because everything's gonna be cooked. And you can see the shrimp is starting to change color. And nothing should burn, you know. You shouldn't have to worry about whatever ingredient goes in first will cook the longest because you have it at a low temperature, everything should cook nice and evenly and you shouldn't run the risk of burning or scorching anything. And I know that onion and garlic can be very easy to burn, but you can see right here, I don't know if you can tell, let's see, the onion is already starting to cook, but it's not burned. And the shrimp is changing color, so it's a nice way to cook everything evenly under controlled circumstances. Okay. And I do my rice last. I like to get everything pre-sauteed, pre-cooked, and things are coming together nicely. We give the shrimp a little bit more time. Okay, now we're going to add the rice. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add, excuse me, the sauces. So I have 6 tablespoons of soy sauce. And I'll just kind of play it by ear. I'm probably going to have to add more. But I like to stir first because soy sauce does have a good bit of sodium in it. And I want to make sure that I really do need more before I start adding. And you want to stir evenly, make sure all of the rice gets brown, and it's actually spreading pretty nicely. I may not need as much as I think, but I may add a tad bit more. We'll see. Maybe just a tad bit more. And it all depends on how much you're cooking. If you're not cooking as much as I am, you obviously won't need the 6 tablespoons. But I am cooking for others, so that's just about it right there. Okay, and then I'm going to add the 2 tablespoons of the sesame chili oil. And there's actually no harm in tasting your rice. And then you decide what you want to add to it. If you feel like it needs salt, if you feel like it needs more chili sauce, sesame oil, if it needs more soy sauce, it's up to you. It's your food. But this is kind of where we're at right here, and we're just about done. The rice itself really doesn't take long. Once you've boiled the rice, The big thing is just putting it all together and making sure it mixes evenly. There we go. And it will have some uncovered spots, so you do have to turn the rice over just to make sure you get the sauce on everything. Yeah. And again, this is all on low heat, so you don't have to worry about anything scorching or burning. All right. One thing I do like to add as a side note, when cooking your rice, I sometimes will undercook the rice a little bit. So making sure that it's a little bit firm than average, a little bit more firm than average. And the reason for that is when you put it in the skillet, you're putting soy sauce in here, you're putting sesame oil, you're putting extra moisture in. And sometimes if you accidentally overcook the rice, putting all of that sauce in will actually make it soggy. Because you can see some of the soy sauce, not a whole lot, but some of it is kind of sifting it's sifting to the bottom a little bit. So the rice is going to absorb that. So just kind of as a side note, when you're making your rice, you may want to undercook it a little bit just so that when the rice starts absorbing the sauce at the end, when you mix it all together, your rice doesn't become too soggy. But this is perfect. This is the perfect texture. You can see well-defined grains of rice. They're not blurry. They're not soggy. They're not mushy. I'm testing a little bit, and I think we're all set. Okay guys, so here's the finished product, and you guys pretty much already had an idea of how things were going to turn out. But here's a serving of my shrimp fried rice with a fried chicken wing. This is something that's very quick, easy, and convenient to make, especially on a weeknight if you have to work or go to school. It can feed a lot of people, especially if you use the measurements that I use during the cooking session. And you can make so many meals out of it. You know, you can not only can you feed multiple people, but you can have it for lunch, you can have it for dinner, you can pack it for work the next day. It's very versatile, and it does go with a number of other things besides fried chicken, depending on what your preference is. But I think it's a nice little recipe to have in your toolbox to whip out when you need it the most. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And until next time, bye for now.